Hello, welcome back students, and welcome back to another video of photosynthesis. In this part, I will be talking about the light dependent phase of photosynthesis. You know students, in 1905, British physiologist Sir Blackman first divided the process of photosynthesis in two phases, number 1 and number 2. Number 1, light dependent phase or light phase, and another one is light independent phase. Light dependent phase means in this phase the presence of light energy is must. Without the presence of light energy, this process cannot be proceed. Okay, and another one is light independent, that means the neutral. In presence or absence of light, this process can take place, right? Okay, before knowing the light dependent phase very well, we need to know some terms. These are adenosine, AMP, ADP, ATP and NADP. What is adenine? Students, you know, in DNA and RNA, that means in the nucleic acid, there is a nitrogen base, and the name of the nitrogen base is adenine. I am writing the name adenine. This is a nitrogen base and it is present in the DNA and RNA. With this adenine, if ribulose sugar or ribulose, both one is correct, is added, then we will call it as adenosine. This is 5 carbon sugar, 5 carbon sugar, right? Adenine plus ribulose sugar equal to adenosine. And if with this adenosine inorganic phosphate is attached, what happens? Adenosine plus one molecule of inorganic phosphate equal to AMP. That means adenosine monophosphate. Suppose this is adenosine and this is one phosphate, then we will call it as adenosine monophosphate. Mono means one phosphate. That's why adenosine monophosphate or AMP. Again, if adenosine plus 2 molecule of inorganic phosphate, I means inorganic, P means phosphate, then we will get ADP, adenosine di, and this is phosphate. Suppose this is adenosine and 2 phosphate, 1 and 2. This is adenosine diphosphate, di means 2. Again adenosine plus 3 inorganic phosphate. What happens? ATP or adenosine triphosphate. ATP. A means adenosine, T means tri, that means 3, and P means phosphate. Okay students, now we will familiar with coenzyme, that is NADP. NADP, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. If H plus ion is attached with the NADP, what happens? NADP H2, then we will call it reduced nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Okay students, to understand the light dependent phase, we need to know these terms. Now the location. Light phase or light dependent phase takes place in the thylakoid of the grana of the chloroplast. This is a chloroplast. These are the disc-like structure, membranous structure. These totally altogether, these are known as the grana, and single grana is known as the thylakoid, and thylakoid is the place of the light phase. Okay, solar energy and chlorophyll play a very important role in the light phase. So these are the factors of the light phase, and location is the thylakoid. Now the product. After finishing the light phase, we get oxygen, ATP and NADP, H2. Okay students, this oxygen releases through the stomata. ATP is known as the biological coin because ATP stores the solar energy as chemical energy and supplies it to the different organisms in the biological necessities. That's why ATP is known as the biological coin. And NADP act as the hydrogen donor. This hydrogen reduces the carbon dioxide to produce glucose. Okay, and in this phase we also know the photophosphorylation, photolysis of water and assimilatory power. Okay students, if we know these terms, that means the location, factors, product, photophosphorylation, photolysis of water and assimilatory power, then we can write the light dependent phase or light phase for the SSC level. In the higher class you will learn so many things about this phase, that means PS1, PS2, etc., etc. But for the SSC level, these informations are sufficient. Okay, now we will learn photophosphorylation. During the light phase of photosynthesis, ADP, that means adenosine diphosphate, is converted to ATP, adenosine triphosphate, by the addition of inorganic phosphate in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. And this process, that means the formation of ATP from the ADP, is known as the photophosphorylation. First of all, I will write the term photophosphorylation. Now I will break the term. Photo. Photo means light. Phospho means inorganic phosphate. And lation means the addition. So the addition of inorganic phosphate with the ADP in presence of sunlight and obviously in presence of chlorophyll is known as the photophosphorylation. Phosphorylation, that means the addition of phosphate. Photo means in presence of sunlight. So we will call it photophosphorylation. This is ADP plus inorganic phosphate, photon of the sunlight. I am writing here photon, and this is chlorophyll, ATP. In this case, ATPase enzyme is involved. So this was the photophosphorylation. Now photolysis of water. Photolysis. Photo means light and lysis means splitting. That means the splitting of water molecule in presence of sunlight is known as the photolysis. Photolysis of water. So lysis of water in presence of photo means light is known as the photolysis of water. Suppose this is water. When we break this water, what will we get? H plus and OH minus, right? I have taken 4 molecules of water. Then I will get 4H plus and obviously 4OH minus. Now I will take 4OH minus. I am giving here a bracket. This is minus. That means it has taken some electrons. So in this case it will lose electrons. After losing these electrons, the minus sign will be eliminated. Then we will get what? 4 OH. No minus, because it has left some electrons. Now I am taking this 4 OH. This 4 OH will produce 2 molecules of water and what? 1 molecule of oxygen. Look, how many oxygen? 4. Oxygen 2 and 2, 4. Hydrogen 4. Here hydrogen also 4. So ultimately, after photolysis of water, we get 4 electrons because it has left 4 electrons, water, oxygen and hydrogen. This hydrogen, we will call this hydrogen as proton, electron and oxygen. Students, if we take 2 molecules of water, what happens? This is 2 molecules of water. Then we will get 2H plus 2 electron plus half oxygen and 1 molecule of extra water. Okay, students? And if I consider a leaf, what happens? Suppose this is a leaf. Solar energy in the light reaction, there is no use of carbon dioxide. Raw material is the only water, and this water is absorbed by the plant from the soil. So the water is splitting here because I am describing the photolysis of water. What happens? H plus, electron and O2. These O2, that means oxygen, releases through the stomata in the outer environment. Okay, and this H plus will reduce the NADP. NADP will reduce, and after that we will get NADPH2, and this electron in presence of the ATPase enzyme through photosystem 2 and PS2, and photosystem 1 produces ATP, and the oxygen releases in the environment. Okay, students, for the formation of ATP, inorganic phosphate is supplied by the photon of the sunlight, and ADP is present in the leaf. Students, now we will learn assimilatory power. What is assimilatory power? Assimilatory power is the power of plants in the form of ATP and NADPH2 to produce glucose through the reduction of carbon dioxide. Okay, this is the assimilatory power. ATP is produced from the photophosphorylation, and NADPH2 is also produced, and the production of ATP and NADPH2 collectively is known as the assimilatory power, right? Actually, light reaction is a kind of preparatory phase. It demands huge energy, and this energy is supplied from the sunlight, photon particles of the sunlight, and it is stored in the ATP. How? This is the sun, and from this sun we get sunlight. From sunlight, solar energy, and this solar energy is transformed to the chemical energy, and it is stored in the ATP, and this ATP is the source of energy. Okay, in this phase, water is the raw material. This is absorbed from the soil, and it acts as the electron donor. NADPH2 acts as the hydrogen donor. ATP acts as the supplier of the energy. After this, all the reactions completed, and also during light reaction chlorophyll molecule starts losing electrons and it needs to fulfill the electrons. For this, photolysis of water takes place, and the water supplies the extra electron to the chlorophyll, and this process continues. Okay, students. So after this process, what do we get? We get oxygen, ATP and NADP H2, and all the living world is dependent on this phase, because in this phase ATP and NADP H2 is produced, which is used in the C3 cycle or the Kelvin cycle. This product is converted to the glucose in presence of different types of enzymes which are present in the stroma. With the help of cellular water, atmospheric carbon dioxide, the animal world gets the glucose. So this was all about the light dependent phase of photosynthesis. If you have any problem, write in the comment section. I will try to solve all the problems. Till today, take care, keep watching, see you later.